The discussions of AI are incredibly polarizing in social media, with most independent and creative minds being heavily against the usage. The recent Ghibli AI trend is a lot of people just messing around with it, including the freaking White House of all things. But it's also concerning for a lot of artists and creators out there, having AI to replace their hard work. There are plenty of people that argues how the data being fed to AI are stolen from copyrighted works such as Studio Ghibli. There are also plenty that argue AI is harming the environment because it uses a large amount of processing power. I am smack dab in the middle of that discussion because, to me, I do see the value of AI in helping people, the same way I do see the value of Jarvis helping Tony Stark. That doesn't mean that Jarvis should be the one going on a smackdown with Thanos, if you know what I mean. That's how I see the role of AI. The AI is your informational operator. They are your assistant. They help you to do the work that you are doing yourself. They are not there doing the work for you. There are some applications of AI that will work wonders for you and will save you a lot of time and money, but you still have to do the work on your own. It's quite insane how many AI chatbots are being given to me for free. Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Facebook and WhatsApp Meta, and Twitter Grok. I have never touched ChatGPT because I have to log in at a time and all that. I still never use it to this day, but I have used the ones I mentioned before. I have used some of these either for work or just for fun. I do write some fiction and videos. That's where my creativity lies. And writing with AI to me is like cooking microwave dinner. It works in some scenarios, like if you just want to satisfy some quick hunger, but it's definitely not something you present to impress Gordon Ramsay. And yes, there are times where I do use AI to quickly get a job done, but it's only for stuff that an AI can do okay, not something major that I have to do myself. It's like asking Jarvis to take down Thanos while Tony is sitting on his ass. And even when I use AI for writing, I still have to step in because the AI almost never gives exactly what I wanted. One example for something major is my videos. I have never used AI to write a single word for the scripts of my videos. Not a single word. Don't get me wrong, I have tried, but the results are garbage. AI will say things that I don't want it to say. They're way too nice on certain topics. They're way too analytical. And even if they're not, it's too unnatural. And I can't rely on AI to truly express what I feel. Like I said, I treat AI like my assistant operator. The Jarvis to my Iron Man. The Alfred or Oracle to my Batman. The Harold Finch to my John Reese. My god, I love Person of Interest. It helps me on a couple of things, but I still have to do the work myself. Do you guys want to know what the public thinks of AI? We have Pew Research to thank for that, as they recently published their research about the public's perception of AI, or at least for the Americans. Most US adults think that AI will harm them rather than benefit them, which is not in line with the opinions of AI experts, as they think AI will likely benefit them personally. There's a huge gap between the public and the experts regarding their potential impact on jobs. AI experts say that AI will benefit them, but the public says no. Will AI take over people's jobs and even eliminate them? Most of the US public thinks so, but the AI experts are divided on this issue. One very funny chart is when AI experts think that there are lots of people who are using AI, but in reality, only 27% of people use AI almost constantly. By the way, AI experts in this instance means people whose research relates to AI. I was an information system major, and AI was part of the course, so I am technically more of an expert than most of the public, and I can definitely say that AI can be beneficial for some people. I just think that for the general public, I'm seeing a lot more people abuse what AI can do rather than actually utilizing them properly. Speaking of abusing AIs, here are a couple of hooplas that are precisely about people abusing AI, which results in garbage products and idiotic decisions. This one definitely requires a bit of rewrite. Crunchyroll, please! Yes, that's the N-word with a soft A. How the hell can this happen? Well, because the character's name is Nika. The anime is Gundam the Witch from Mercury, in case you don't know. So I can totally see how the AI can confuse the word Nika with, well, that. Still, is this the result of AI? Did Crunchyroll really not want to rely on human translators anymore and just let AI to auto-generate captions? Honestly, I don't know. But what I do know is that I do translation works before, and I do think think that machine translations make things so much easier. But there still needs to be a human component to double check and make sure that it reads right. And this one clearly didn't pass the editors. Moving on from Crunchyroll allegedly misusing AI, we have tourists actually misusing AI. This has to be one of the dumbest use cases for AI chatbot that I have ever seen. This Aussie decided to travel to Chile without any visa, and he used ChatGPT to consult the visa information. How about going to the actual immigration website of the countries that you are visiting? I did use a couple of search engines and AI to see if they're giving the same answers and see the flaws in the system. Google Gemini gives the correct answer. Copilot gives me the correct answer, but you still have to do some research. Grok gives the correct answer. Like I said many times, use AI the same way Tony Stark uses Jarvis. Use it to assist you on taking down Thanos, not having them to take down Thanos for you. So yeah, ChatGPT just fumbled on this one, and this Australian tourist paid for that mistake. But hey, at least you're not a TikTok influencer who asked ChatGPT to pick her order.
I'm frustrated that the human race is doomed.
I know I make the Jarvis and Tony Stark comparisons a lot, but that's pretty much the best way to describe what AI is supposed to be doing for humanity. And yet, it's humanity that relies on AI, which highlights their impending doom. People are actually making money off of this. Opening AI commissions. No, there's no such thing as AI commissions. If you want to commission AI art, just buy a Midjourney subscription and type whatever you like. For $10, I will engineer a prompt for you, resulting in 4 custom AI-generated images. No thanks. There are plenty out there that will give them to me for free, and all I do is just type the right words. Bro, stop talking! You're a gooner! Seriously? You're gonna make fun of this person for being a porn addict? Some of the best artists out there are actually the ones producing those 18+ content that you're making fun of. It's not replaceable since it requires years of experience. That's right, typing keywords require years of experience. This is how delusional these AI bros are. I do need to remind people that anyone that uses AI to make their artwork will never commission you anyway. There are still many creative minds out there that are not as brainwashed as these AI bros are. So, if you're an artist, keep on drawing, and don't let these AI bros discourage you. Another thing that AI bros really love doing is dumping on other people's artwork. This is absolutely 100% interaction bait, but it just makes me lose every ounce of respect I had for this guy if this is how he says his opinions. The Ghibli art style is plain, uninspired, and the actual reasons people love it is because of the stories the style has been attached to. Wow. Way to drive engagements on your Twitter account by trashing other people's work, right, Shad? I mean, it would have been fine if the actual work is trash, but trashing Studio Ghibli while shilling AI is just begging to be mocked. The AI version looks better, and crying about it won't change that. That's great, Shad. Now, try to animate that AI version into a feature-length movie. Since you're classifying your critics as crying for criticizing your horrible take, then I will classify this whole tweet as pure cope. Using AI art triggers so many people. It's hilarious. Bro, it's not the usage of AI art, it's you saying Ghibli art bad, AI art good. So many people think AI art is evil and must not be acknowledged to have any quality at all. Yes, actually, you crying about this won't change that. Most people will ignore this because how dare you criticize Ghibli? Calling the Ghibli art style plain and uninspired is purely your subjective point of view, and it's not in any way a valid criticism, especially if it's done in the context of Studio Ghibli animating every frame of that plain and uninspired art style. Trashing the art style with your subjective opinions while praising AI art is surely going to incense many while driving more engagements and therefore more revenue on your Twitter X Blue account. You would think that content creators like Shad would be more mindful of the use of AI, but there is a correlation between AI users and lack of creativity. The streamer Asmongold has a message to all the artists out there. If you're worried about AI taking over the world and taking over your jobs after the new ChatGPT update that turns everything into a Ghibli film, consider a freaking career change. I spent $250 in clink credits and 9 hours re-editing the Fellowship trailer. Wow, that's a lot of wasted time and money that you could have given to literally anything else more valuable in your life. Thanks for being such a clown to everyone. You still need the movie to make this whole trailer, doofus.
There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to have any jobs pretty soon.
Wow, very sympathetic to all the creative minds out there.
If you are an artist, this has been a really bad week for you. And I want to promise you that it's going to get worse.
No, It's not gonna get worse. AI technology will evolve, but it will never replace actual artists in big movie productions. Need I remind you that making this Ghibli-style Lord of the Rings would require the actual Lord of the Rings movie trailer and the Studio Ghibli movies. Without those movies being produced, these AI technologies would not exist. To all the independent artists out there who are struggling to make a dime in this industry, these AI bros are not gonna spend money on your artwork anyway. Let them wallow in their ego. They are not the majority. There are still many people out there who thinks that AI ruins things, or at least in America. You are not alone in this.
I would focus on a career change. Yeah, exactly. And focus on, like, go be a plumber or something like that, right?
Ah, yes, the Twitch streamer streaming at the comfort of their own disgusting home, where he doesn't even wash his clothes, is telling you artists to get a job. Stick to playing games, Asman, or at least the games you're good at. And that's all for the video today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end, here's a cat. Before we close this video, huge thanks to all these wonderful sponsors. You are all fantastic. If you want to see your name among these legends, then check out the links below, just $1. You have supported this channel a lot. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.